Hi, I'm Gail Hogue here with Gregory, and you may notice that behind us here we have two sacred geometric forms that have been spinning. We've used this a lot recently in the videos that we've been recording because these specific geometries are very, very important now, and particularly in relationship to what is happening with the earth energies and the energies that we're experiencing as well. Gregory is going to share with us that there are some real changes that are happening, things that scientists have been noticing are very different than the way they had been. And these particular forms are extremely important in supporting a whole new level of integration and unity that is essential for where we are right now. And these forms are called, this one on the bottom is the unity grid, and the one above it is the star dodecahedron. And the geometries are pretty amazing, and we're going to share with you how these are so important and how we're going to use them to do some very, very deep work with the earth.
We're in a very special time right now. It seems like so much is happening with our planet. We've got the Schumann resonance, which is normally 7.83 hertz. There's something affecting their measurements that is causing it to spike at 36 hertz, which is almost a 460% increase. Another thing that's going on is the sun is having more solar flares, and so there's more of that electromagnetic interference coming into the Earth system, and that means into our systems, into our bodies. On top of that, there have been incredible holes in the sun's surface that create plasma discharge. That's a different form of energy that seems to be coming at our planet, and they've actually been measuring where it goes past the planet and then seems to dissipate and turn into particles. So plasma is a wave function, and it becomes something different after it passes our planet, and this has people, scientists, confused. Also, we're finding from deep space, from the center of our galaxy, there are other plasma discharges. All of these things basically come down to the fact that our energy field, and as you may have seen in some of the other videos I've put out, the energy field of the planet has been spreading out. That is, the electromagnetic field has been actually becoming weaker because it's less dense, because it's becoming much more wide around the planet, which allows more energy to come in and affect our fields. So we are being impacted. I know for me, for Gail, we found that there have been times during these past weeks where it almost feels like we're going just a little bonkers trying to focus, getting knocked out energy wise. And so, what we're going to be talking to you about now is how we are going to be working with the energy of the Earth grid system.
It's important that we recall and remember ourselves as creative or co-creative beings. What's happening right now is that we're being called to action, called to come forth with our capability to rise in consciousness and work through the heart center to bring higher levels of light and love that will come into the different energy vortexes on the planet and will have a very potent effect to support what we're going into, which is to create a greater sense of unity. So Greg's going to show you more what that background is on this and how it's going to look. I think it'll help you in being able to come along with us and be a participant in this experience.
Some of you may remember this where I've used it before. It's a particular caliber that measures the phi ratio. That is the ratio around which our body has been constructed. So by holding it up to my middle finger, you can see the first digit is to the bottom of the finger in that phi ratio relationship. If you work with the middle finger to the hand bottom, it's also in the phi ratio. You can work with the hand to the elbow, is in the phi ratio. Our body, the way the eyes are laid out, the head to the navel, that's the very famous picture you've often seen of Leonardo da Vinci's called the Vitruvian Man, where he has his arms outstretched, and what Leonardo da Vinci is showing us is how the phi ratio is evident throughout the body. Well, I'm going to show you how this relates to a couple of our very popular geometries, that is the platonic solids, the dodecahedron, and the icosahedron. Here we have, on my right, is a dodecahedron. This is pentagonal faced, and it has 12 faces, one of the platonic solids, where each face is equal. Now, it dances with, that means it is a dual with the icosahedron. So here is the icosahedron that has 20 faces and has 12 points. Now, this has 12 faces and 20 points. So that means that they can interpenetrate each other, where each point of the dodecahedron fits inside each face of the icosahedron, and vice versa, each face of this inside the dodecahedron. So here they are, the dodecahedron and the icosahedron interpenetrating each other, one face through the other face. Now, something interesting that I would like to show you, the dodecahedron is the short part of the phi ratio, and the icosahedron is the long part of the phi ratio. This means that they create a phi ratio relationship, and this shape has often been understood to be the grid that is going around the planet. And when I say grid, I mean the energy flows of the planet, just like within our body we have a nervous system, and we have a circulatory system, we have the meridian system. All of these are systems that allow for the flow of energy. Well, the Earth too has flows of energy, and this used to be thought of as the basic grid of the planet, as you can see here in this slide that I have just brought up. Now, what has happened is that we have expanded on the simple Earth grid and added many more fine lines, finding that there are many different points where the energy is flowing on the planet. You can see in the second image some of the large yellow lines refer to the grid I was holding. Now, here is the Earth grid, and something that we've done is we've taken this cross of the icosahedron and the dodecahedron and connected all the points. And what happens is you then get what is called something with 30 rhomboids, and that's called a rhombic tricontrahedron, meaning 30. And what we've done with the unity grid is leave the dodecahedron into the whole equation. So you can see that these individual diamond shapes are in a phi ratio relationship because this is where the icosahedron used to be at these points, and the line going across the middle, that's where I left the dodecahedron into the form. Now, the reason we left the dodecahedron in is a whole seminar in and of itself, but suffice it to say that the dodecahedron is a critical element in aligning everything in the physical dimension with the higher etheric dimensions and the physical body and the higher dimensional body, often referred to as the Christ body, the body of compassion, that level of awareness that allows us to really work with our hearts.
So many of us are on this path where our greatest intention and focus is that evolutionary opportunity to bring higher consciousness, greater connection with soul, with the higher dimensions, and bring it into our physical life, our physical experience. And the dodecahedron is essential for that transformation of energy so that we can truly link up with the higher realms of who we are and being able to express our lives and be creative beings with the use of this particular geometry.
You see, the unity grid is the higher octave of the earth grid that was the combination of the icosahedron dodecahedron. So the importance of working with these tools at this time is the fact that the unity grid is on the heart companion, and we're working with it in many of our different forms to help us integrate the energies that are coming into the planet right now, the energies that we can use to focus our consciousness, energies that we can use when we can integrate them into our body properly. We can use them to actually advance our consciousness and what's going on with our understanding.
It's a huge transition to go from separation and domination and that place of the ego being the real character in the show, and instead moving into the unity, the place of coming from the greatest loving relationships, the highest light, and being more aware of service and the good of all rather than what do I need right now as an individual. It's a huge transformation. And that is so much of what is happening right now. So when we take a look at the different forms that we're talking about, they are not only giving us cues, but they are real energy transformers so that they support us in moving away from that old paradigm and expanding our consciousness to embrace the whole.
You know, it's important to understand that many people speak to us about the heart companion, the eye connect, and say they don't go any place without it because it allows them to feel good, to feel right in their body. But now we're asking you to expand that vision of how you understand these tools. And part of that is being able to literally be aware of the energies coming into the planet, into your body, and rerouting them. These tools are not only bringing energy and working with these energies, like of the unity grid, bringing it into our body, they also are broadcasters. That means you can use your energy, use your intent, use your focus, And the heart companion helps us hold a clearer focus, helps us hold an energy of higher dimensional understanding. It literally, that's part of the good feeling we're getting, is we start connecting to the bigger part of ourselves, a more clear understanding of ourselves. And whether we get it mentally or not, the vibrations that are coming into our body are of a more pure nature, are of a more refined nature. And that allows us to be able to send out thoughts and send out feelings of a higher vibrational nature back into the grid of the planet, back into the relationships that we have with other people and the relationships we have with the whole animal and plant kingdom. So this is a remarkable tool that does more than bring energy into you. It allows you to be a creator and really work with the highest vibrational energies available to a human being and sending it out for the transformation of the planet, for the transformation of all of the other members of our conscious family.
It's wonderful to have the opportunity to bring ourselves to that place of real creative beings. A lot of people say, well, what else can these tools do? Well, what we're going to do is a little experience today, and then we're going to continue to build on this because there's quite a lot of work to be done here. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to build almost like a love envelope around the planet. We're going to use the planetary grid, which has all of these different vortexes, these energy centers that are going to be able to vibrate with the energies that we're creating now, that we're sharing. And time doesn't matter. Whenever you do this, it is all happening in the right place and the right energy flow. So these vortexes will be able to take in that higher light, that love energy, and then be able to disseminate that. This will support the unity of the planet. It will support the individuals and all life on the planet to be able to rise and experience itself as that place of loving co-creative energy fields, as opposed to the polarities and the sort of the infightings and things that we're feeling so much and we're seeing displayed. Those illusions are dropping away, and they're opening up the space for us to come together, for all conscious beings to come together and breathe that love into this form so that it can meld in and solidify into a higher dimensional integration. So what I'd like to do is we're just going to spend a few minutes so that you get the sense of what this is, and then know that we're going to come back to this and we're going to expand on this. So I will ask each one of us to go into that place and feel it particularly in the heart center. Bring your awareness into the place where you know your being through the heart. Your mind is quieting, and your heart is expanding. Your heart is taking the greater sense of presence so that it's moving forward. And take a few deep breaths and allow that resonance of your breath moving through your body, through the heart center. And feel that energy and know it as something that is boundless and connecting in with all conscious life. And this breath and this energy and this light and loving presence is connecting with other conscious beings. And there may be conscious beings on all different dimensions, who we call our guides, angels, masters, as well as just friends and individuals, animals, all breeds of life. And this energy is building. It's building in a way where you can see the rainbow frequencies, the rainbow lights and vibration is embracing the beings of planet Earth. And as that's happening, it's waking more and more people up. And they're moving into this field. They're moving into this aliveness. Take another breath. And the new reference point is our planetary grid. We are enabling those important vortexes all around planet Earth to vibrate with and receive this loving and light blessing. The frequencies are building, and we can see together that these energy centers are opening. And as these energy centers are opening, there are lights that are just becoming more clear. Where energy had been withheld or had been in some way dark, the light is growing. The light is being absorbed and moved through the entire grid system. The grid system on planet Earth is awakening to its reality of that unified presence of higher consciousness. Just breathe into that and feel the joy of that. Feel the aliveness of our relationship with all of these different energies. And the love is growing. And see it circulating around the planet. And as that's happening, there are lights that are coming out of the different vortexes. And this light and love energy is being shared galactically. It is boundless. It is co-creative. It is building a unity, a unified field, and a higher grid presence on this planet now. And just feel it and breathe with it and feel the joy, feel the compassion that is building for all sentient life. There is an awareness of the good of all, the service to all that we are representing. Take another deep breath and begin to just feel how that unity brings greater health and a presence of increased love and compassion in your body, in your life, in your community, in your family. Breathe that through each one of the chakras. And let's create the condition that this energy is in perfection and will continue to clarify and grow so that we may support the establishment of this higher consciousness and compassion and love for all in this system. And let the blessings flow in the greatest light, in the holy love. So be it.